Well, I want to give a little dose of reality to some things about silver and a fiscal cliff. The fiscal cliff it's being referred to is going to happen in early 2013. This is why those weasels in Congress have, went into session extra early to avoid these problems. What a joke, really. It's a sick joke on us. But, in 2011, they voted that in 2012, if they didn't iron out all these budgets and stuff like that and iron out what was going to happen, there's going to be all these mandatory cuts in government and tax increases and everything that would take place in 2013. You know, I don't know. Maybe sometimes I'm thinking, they're not going to let it happen. They're going to find an emergency to emergency, and they're going to bypass it. But just like you wouldn't think Bear Stearns can go under or General Motors can go under. Hey, this stuff may hit reality. But what does that mean for silver? That sucks. Bad news. Big time price wise. Big time. Big time. This is why, and I don't know if this damn stuff's going up. I mean, I'm looking at it like recently. It's taking hits because new forecasts are coming out. Like you got another one out here today. The IMF cut its global growth forecast to 3.3% in 2012 from 3.5%. So, that's not too good for commodities. They're not really doing that bad actually today. But, we had a big run up. But, I personally, I'm like of the ilk of all the silver holders out there. 33, 34, 37, even 40. It's way too low. It should be like 90. But, my reality is I'm thinking it was going to bust a record high. But part of that in 2012, part of that reasoning was war with Iran. War with Iran. And, I can't figure if that's going to happen or not, to tell you the truth. Obviously, nobody can. Nobody can. But in 2013, the fiscal cliff is coming up. That means that's going to be very bad for the GDP numbers in the economy and very bad for silver. Very bad. That's my whole rationale behind if you see some crazy gains in silver and it's up like record highs, get rid of some of this stuff. And every single blogger out there is going to tell you to do the opposite of what I'd be telling you to do. But that's a what-if situation. If this happens, this is what your reaction is because 2013 spells pullback. Pullback. And now, the other curveball that can come into play is fiscal cliff hits, crisis in the government. Government decides, they reconvene and they have emergencies to the emergencies. They make exceptions to the law that they said was mandatory, and they just vote in stuff and more spending. Then Moody's downgrades the debt. It downgrades the debt rating in the United States. That would make gold go up. Then you got the war with Iran. Then, silver goes up. But like I said, I'm holding pat. If this crap doesn't go up, I'm holding. I'm waiting. Because I realize that if it doesn't go up now, there might be other forces in play that might actually bring it up. If silver has a crazy gain over the next few months and it does bust through 50, that's time to sell. And the exact opposite is going to be told to you people by the famous guys, James Turk. I'll name them, James Turk will tell you otherwise. These guys all come out of the woodwork. After silver has like a 10, 15, 20% gain, gold or whatever, then they come out of here to tell you to buy. God, it's like the opposite. They tell you after the fact because they don't know. If they know, they'd be gazillionaires. But so would I, obviously too. But my point is, they're almost telling you the opposite of what to do. And if it goes, say, I don't know if it is. It's really hard to judge because, but you have to do it like a what-if situation. If silver hits over $50 here, like by early 2013, that's a hell of a crazy move, right? Sell the crap, dump it. I'm telling you. Actually, I probably, if it goes up that fast, that quickly, in the next couple of months, unexpectedly, that's a hell of a gain from 34. Even if it went up to a record high, I'd be probably selling, a little more than some of the physical too, because my expectation would be that in 2013 the fiscal cliff is going to hit, and they're going to drive that metal right back down again. Now the guys in the silver world aren't going to tell you to do that. You know, BJF has been way the hell off. I remember that $75 to $100 prediction he had for the end of 2011, along with Pastor Lindsey Williams, that turned out to be 26. I don't know, you know, but I can imagine the same type of people, the same ilk, the SGT, the guy that sells the books, the Vegas guy, and Chris Duane, and all those other guys, to be telling you, if it went up to 50-something real fast here, I mean, that's a hell of a mood. I'm saying if. I don't know. I don't know. Silver does crazy stuff. If it went up that fast, that quick, I see a reason, a solid reason, why it would get slammed down in 2013, called the fiscal cliff. That stuff, and also, the capital gains tax is going to go from 15% to 25% in 2013. That's screwed up. You know, I don't like that. Really annoys the hell out of me, you know. So we're heading, you know, she's driving to the fiscal cliff right here. Do a wheelie and jump over it, hopefully. But, you know, it's like that capital gains tax on silver is the most unfair damn tax going, because actually you think about it, well, why is silver going up? Because the dollar's going down. So what are they taxing you on? Things that aren't even profit. They're taxing you on the fact that their currency's going down. You know, the currency's going down. That's what they're taxing you on. Not that you made money. They're taxing you on that the currency went down. That's what they're doing. And they're going to raise that rate from 15% to 25%. So if silver went to $400 an ounce, they're going to charge you $100 in taxes if you can't figure out your basis. And, you know, in just reality, if silver did go to $400 an ounce, I can't see him taxing you at 25%. I could see it more like 50%. Because you remember what happened in the late 70s with oil. Oil was having crazy gains. What did they do? Excise tax. You think these guys aren't going to do an excise tax on precious metals when the government looking that bad? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. For sure, right? So, you know, that's one reason, you know, you might want to sell some before they freaking hit these with the taxes, too. You know, I wish there was a way around all this stuff. You know, actually the way around it is non-compliance with the freaking bullshit artist. And, you know, the ones I hate the most, it's not just the government. You know, I don't even know. I don't really have nothing against the government in a lot of ways because, well, it could be. Some people are geek bureaucrats, you know, even on a person-to-person basis. But, you know, for the most part, the government people don't get paid a lot of money except for a few of them on the top. They're the weasels. But for the most part, most of the government employees are pretty hard working and they got a lot of crap to put up with. You know? So I really don't have too much against them. What I really have a problem with basically is the fact that we have a bureaucracy, and I really have a problem with is the professionals, especially like attorneys and doctors and other snake oil peddlers of the profession. And you know, like you put this in the context of silver. You know, I put out some things about, you know, different ways you could possibly treat a disease or cure something that's controversial, but I'll say it's experimental. Well, let me put it this way. You know, a lot of stuff I put out there might cost you a half an ounce of silver or 1 ounce. A doctor will take thousands of ounces for that same thing, and it won't come out as good. So that's the way to silver nirvana. Make sure it stays in with you versus going to the snake oil reps out there. And, you know, I swear to God, I think the middle class is their own worst enemy. You know, sometimes I even wonder, like, we had the big healing ways with hemp and, you know, industrial hemp and medicinal marijuana. We had all those products available to us in the 1800s, and in 1937, it was about the last year when they passed that act. Well, because some oil companies wanted something. You know, it's almost like people got to just be non-compliant. The hell with the bull crap, you know, grow a plant, do whatever the hell you want. And I think that is actually the way to fixing everything. Just work hard, work smart, and petty bureaucrats and professional bullshit artists, make sure you don't give them any money. Period. So, but, you know, my advice on specific financial advice on silver. Let's say it goes up crazy. You know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if I knew it was going to go up to $50 an ounce, I'd sell every single account I have and I'd put it into the highest leverage, and I would, triple my money inside of no time. I don't know this, but my point is, if it goes up that much, and it's up to some really good number by the end of 2012 or into very early 2013, I definitely get rid of a good chunk of it, because 2013 has very solid reasons that the industrial commodities are going to get hammered. And that is because they're going to do all these things. They're going to drive down the economy, which is fiscal mandatory budget cuts, mandatory expiration of tax breaks, and mandatory tax increases. It's going to kill the economy. So I don't see how the hell that silver could do that good. Then, if you sold, and hopefully you'd buy back. But like I said, that's a what-if situation. If silver stays stagnant this whole rest of the year, I don't know. I just have to hold on. That's what I'd have to say. So, watch the Fiscal Cliff. That's a reality coming up. You just got to, my counter point to, the silver bloggers and the guys out there spewing to the middle class who probably are not listening to exactly how they're getting the wool pulled over their eyes, is this. Say silver, imagine it went up to over $50 an ounce by the end of 2012. Say it went that crazy. The tone of those professional snake oil silver bloggers would be to tell you it's going to 100, it's going to at least 75. The, Bernanke's this, that, and the whole system is falling apart. I'd say bullshit. I'd say it's going to have a pullback pretty soon. And the reality of that event is going to be the mandatory fiscal cuts and that fiscal cliff, as they call it, in 2013. That's a reality. But if we don't get up any higher and it's like looking kind of stagnant, I don't know. I mean, personally, I think silver's going to be over $40 by the end of the year. That's where I think it's going to sit, in the 40s. So we shall see. But like I said, my advice is, if this happens, then this should be a reaction. So I'm giving specific timing of what to do. Just beware of those guys out there, because I'm really thinking that silver ain't going to do good until all these jerks in the, passing out the snake oil advice. And I think they know better. I'm going to actually add this at the end. I think a lot of it, like, not the little guys. I mean, not the guys that got like 1,000 viewers or something or whatever the hell it is. But the bigger silver channels out there, I think, have an agenda to keep the middle class buying hot and heavy when the price is actually heated up too much. And they want to leave them holding the bag for the pros that are going to take it from them. In other words, you bought it at 47. They were all telling you to buy it. Buy. It's going to 100. They're going to play that game again. Next time, I think when it gets near 50, it should bust through it. I'm thinking that's going to be the case, but I don't think it's going to go straight to 100. Now, so, like I said, I think these professional large channel silver bloggers have its deep agenda, and they're not out there to help the middle class. Not at all. I am. So I'm giving you straight advice. I kind of don't like doing some of these silver videos in some ways, because it's basically, I'm very much a hands-on person. I like, I'd rather say, if I had some work to do on a mechanical thing, I'd like to show people how to do that so they could save some money and do it on their own. Or health things, I like to show people, things that they stay healthy, combat any type of disease or whatever the hell it is. And actually, if anybody has a specific question about something, I'll put a video out on it, because there's probably a lot more stuff I know that I'm not putting out. Those type of things I like to do more than just the silver things, because silver is actually more about speculation. It's not exactly all about preserving wealth, because the way to preserve wealth is going to be through a whole hodgepodge of different things. Remember, like I was giving an example, you have a doctor out there, and maybe I know a way you can do something that can help somebody for half an ounce of silver or an ounce of silver. Professional snake oil doctor might charge you thousands of ounces and not even get as good a result. Thousands of ounces of silver. So, There you go. You know, it's not all about just stupid metal itself. It's about a lot of different things. So that's about all I got to say because I don't want to get too lengthy on here. But watch for the fiscal cliff. If silver does take off like a bat out of hell in the next few months here, watch for the silver cliff. That means you don't want to be holding the bag, right? Now, I'm too nervous about selling all kinds of physical silver, so I'm only going to sell some of it because I'm overly bullish on the metal like you guys are too.